Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the Schlage 20-067 626E, probably better called 20067E 626. This is a cylinder is what it is. It will probably both look somewhat familiar to you and also strangely unfamiliar if you're not looking at this because you need a mailbox lock. This is indeed a mailbox lock. The 20067 is one for a particular type of mailbox lock, and it's given away in the title with the part of the word Auth. What they're meaning to say is Auth Florence, a manufacturer of mailbox locks, and this cylinder would be appropriate for those mailbox locks in their 466 and 470 series. I'm not very familiar with Auth Florence mailbox locks.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
We're listening. 460, 470 series. Yeah, I don't see a particular reference to, in the Auth Florence catalog of which model this is going to work with exactly. So this video is to help illustrate visually what this looks like. Okay, this is a standard cylinder that you're going to see in deadbolts, lock sets, nowadays mortise cylinders even, or rim cylinders too with Schlage's modular system, except this has been modified to work in an Auth Florence mailbox. The E in the part number means that this is an E keyway. It is one of the classic 7 keyways, I think 7, C, E, C, E, F, E, F, G, F, G. Yeah, those are the 7 classic keyways. This is one of them. This is the second most common of the classic keyways, the C being by far the most common. But if you want a keyway that's a little unusual or less common, E would be a good option. EF would be less common. G would be less common. FG is FG I think is more common. But you've got a cylinder here that operates this sort of cam or throw member that's down on the bottom. I'd probably say a cam more so. That will operate that to within the limits of where the screws are attached. You can only remove the key when, I assume, when that cam is brought vertical, but you'd probably be able to leave it in both the locked or the open and closed position. This is a 6-pin cut key. There would be 6 chambers inside of here, and I assume all of them are pinned. You can easily service this. I've never taken one of these apart to service them, but it wouldn't be an issue. Pin there, threaded cap, spring, that retainer that's back here, a couple of screws to pull that out, and you'd be able to service that quite easily. You'd need to be pretty mindful when you're sliding a plug follower through there to make sure you don't lose any pins because of that large hole that's in the cylinder plug housing or the cylinder shell itself. Okay, 626, that means the face of this is, oh, that's awful. This is 626. Yeah, the client ordered 606. Okay, so that's how this is going to be. So this is in a 626 finish. The client actually ordered 606, which is satin brass. We'll need to get that straightened out. But this would be a 626 finish. You can do it in the chrome type color or in the satin brass type color. Chromes are going to, work with all locks except where you've got your brasses, your bronze type colors, your oil rub. That would use the 606 or the US4 faceplate on that plug. So let's switch now to the screen view where we can take a closer look at some supporting documentation. Here is the item that we're looking at. This actually is the 606 version, but finish aside. Not much to see here, except it does tell us Auth 466, 470 E keyway. Let's click here below this video to the link to the manufacturer's page, where we can pull up not only all of the Schlage products that we sell, okay, by means of this horizontal navigation, but also a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the full product catalog. And let's fire up the full product catalog and see if we can find any reference to the 20-067. Okay, and we have that document loaded. 20-067. It's not in here. And I'm not surprised. You will find in the hardware industry that there will be things available that aren't in the catalog, but they are in the price list. And that's generally subcomponents, pieces and parts. There are countless dozens of individual items that make up a lock or an exit device. Those are all not listed in the product catalog. I was hoping this would be, but we can go to the price list where we're sure to find it when we open that up and type in 20-067. Yeah, we'll sure find it. Cylinders for mailboxes are here. So, what's the important part here? The important part is, what manufacturer of mailbox lock do you have? So, this client, in mailbox manufacturers, they put their name rather predominantly. So, Auth, or Auth Florence, obviously came in with this 20-067. Okay. You can do it in a Classic or an Everest or Everest 29 keyway platform. Just, the Classic keyways and then the evolution of the Classic keyways into the Everest and Everest 29. Apparently there is no option, which makes perfect sense. There's no option for Primus because you've cut away part of the plug, or modified part of the plug to accept your screws. Let's see. So you would order a 20-067 if you want everything, and then you would specify your keyway, a Classic, one of the 7 I mentioned, or an Everest or Everest 29. In Everest and Everest 29, there are restricted key families. There are restricted families. That is a conversation that you can, for further study on those restricted keyways. I'll point you in the right direction before the end of this video. American Device, Auth Florence, Bomber. Bomber, Florence, Cutler, Mail, Chute, and Federal Equipment. Apparently the 20-069 is fairly generic in its design. Obviously, it's incredibly difficult to really tell the difference between these two, except for the placement of the cam. I would think that is nothing other than just reversed. Remove the 2 screws, flip it 180 degrees, and put it back on. And this all of a sudden looks like this, would be my guess. Interestingly, on the back of our cylinder, we do not have it horizontal in this orientation. It's vertical. So this pin is actually over here, and this disc is turned, that 45 degree. Well, actually, it might be 90 degree. I'm going to stick with 45 degree, turned around clockwise a little bit. Then it shows you what this other, the 20-030, apparently it's for Durasteel. I'm not familiar with Durasteel or Corbin wood products. I'm not familiar with that either. But nonetheless, here's the page that will allow you to see those items. Subcomponents can be purchased, obviously, separately as they have listed here. Miscellaneous parts, which don't apply. Well, they do apply, absolutely. So all these parts are down here should you need, should your cylinder be fine and the cam you need to purchase alone, you can do so. And that is everything that we know about Schlage mailbox locks. Let's switch now up to where I said we'd have some further discussion on Everest and restricted keyways. If you go to the Everest full-size cylinder manual, there will be language inside of here that talks about those keyways that are restricted, meaning you need a letter of authorization to purchase these restricted keyways, and here it is. Okay, the Everest 29T family are restricted, which means, I just said, it means a letter of authorization, but access to purchasing the key blanks are restricted. So you can do your mailbox locks in your condo building with a restricted keyway as well. It's not high security, it's just restricted. High security would give you other elements like their Primus or Primus XP I wouldn't say more stringent control over the key blanks, but the technology and the platform of the cylinder construction itself is substantially more secure against picking, impressioning, things of that nature. Also on that manufacturer's page, of note to this subject matter at hand, I honestly don't have anything else to offer in terms of a mailbox lock. But on this page, I can certainly offer showing you where the link to the service manual is. Very handy. Template index is here as well. Cylinders and key blanks quick reference guide. That's really handy and actually, I would think now, a bit appropriate for this conversation. The classic keyways are here that I had mentioned earlier. Okay, you've got part numbers for key blanks that are here. The S family of blanks can be done. The C family of blanks can be done in these numbers, showing you the multiplex structure of what they are. Very handy. The key blank that we have here in our hand is a 35101. It's just a classic conventional right here, 35101, where it standard front and back, even though we have this on one side and we have this on the other side. So if you wanted more of these key blanks, it's just the 35101 and then E for the keyway. So very handy information here. Let's wrap up this video on camera. Okay, in conclusion, we don't sell many mailbox locks. That is the truth, no doubt. Why would you, first of all, want a mailbox lock in a key like this? Well, simple. You have a condo building, and they are going to have the unit keys and the mailbox locks all keyed alike. Very handy, very convenient. Not only that, but I find that it's easier to get key blanks made of a Schlage E keyway than it can be of some unusual cam lock in a mailbox. So that would be a reason why you would have that, just for convenience, really. Obviously, I would argue, certainly, I would argue successfully that a pin tumbler cylinder, which this is, would give you greater security rather than a disc tumbler cylinder, very likely in your cam lock, or a smaller platform pin tumbler cylinder that you'd see in a mailbox lock. I don't think it'd be for security. A higher quality lock, certainly as well, and for convenience. Probably primarily why someone would have a mailbox lock like this in their Auth, Cutler, Bomber. Now, speaking of Bomber, Schlage will still make you the locks, but Bomber discontinued the manufacture of mailboxes in, I think, the early 2019. They've thoroughly done away with that stuff. They found that there's just no money in it. They made a very high-quality item, and in Chicago, in fact, their series of multi-gang mailboxes were ubiquitous. Chicago, like most urban cities, urban areas, are full of 2-flat, 3-flat, 4-flat, 20-flat buildings. Bomber mailboxes everywhere, and very high-quality products. Testament to the fact that it's high quality because they're around decades later. And Bomber just concluded that there's just, again, no profit margin for no market demand for the high quality product that they were making at this time, and made a business decision to discontinue it. But luckily, you can still get your cylinder for it. If you have trouble on your existing cylinders, let us know. We are likely able to help service it as well, or at least give you advice prior to purchasing one, I suppose, to determine it's actually what you need. Any questions on the Schlage 20-067 in a 626 finish and an E keyway, or any other Schlage product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you. Again, thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up, please subscribe, and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.